Okay, so, intro out the way. Let's get onto the camera. So first we're going to go over ergonomics and stuff. There we go. Camera start. Yay, it works. Let's just close all these programs. Right. Okay, hey Dizzy. Right. Headset off. Now, I just want to go over ergonomics quite quickly, because I think because it's at the core of everything you kind of do in Planetside or not, if you're doing something wrong from an ergonomic standpoint, or you have kind of an issue from an ergonomic standpoint, then you're not going to do as well as you ever could. Now, I'm away from a mic, so I'm just going to turn the boost on just so it picks me up clearly enough. So I just wanted to go over something quite simple, because within FPS and with Planetside especially, you'll notice that a lot of people use like really low ADS sensitivities, and to make the most of that you need a lot of desk space. So what I have laid out here, this is a standard 30cm ruler, or 12 inches if you like the imperial measurements, or a foot. So you can see that I have about 50 centimeters there for my desk, for my mouse. I also use a 10 kilos keyboard, which you can see here, so it doesn't have a number pad, so it gives me an extra like kind of 10 centimeters to play with. This is preference, but the amount of people who kind of don't do well, not because they're not good players, but they don't have like a solid kind of like large space to use their mouse, which is really important in an FPS where you're trying to use a really low sensitivity. The amount of players who kind of don't do that is quite staggering. Like, a lot of people could have really good aim, but they have maybe like 10 centimeters to move their mouse, and it doesn't really work. So you can see, yeah, for 12 inches here. And believe it or not, I do actually run out of mouse pad when I'm gaming here. So it's something to be aware of, that even this amount of space that I've got here, yeah, about 40 centimeters, 50 centimeters for me as well, you do run out of it. So this might look like a lot, and you think, well, that's pretty excessive. You know, you could probably manage with a you know, full-size keyboard. That isn't always the case. So it's just something to be aware of, because if you find yourself running out of mousepad space, well, you're going to find it really hard to be kind of good, for lack of a better word. So that's just a little one as well. I just want to show you as well, like, playing close to your monitor, that's personal preference, but like I said, they can see the 10 kilos keyboard. I'm not saying you need like a huge, you know, you don't need the world's best mouse either. This is a Logitech G303. I have small hands, so you can see it fits in my hands quite nicely. But just having a good mouse, which is ergonomic and comfy for you. This looks weird. This isn't actually grime. This is what this is. I spilt some rubbing alcohol on my mouse, and it's eating away at the black stuff. But yeah, that's why it looks a bit weird. But yeah, so just having I'm not saying you need the world's best £100, you know, whatever mouse, but just having a decent mouse and something you feel comfortable with. For instance, the Caster is a small mouse, but a lot of people like it with small hands. Having something to your sides is really good. So just having a good, I wouldn't say keyboard's too important, but hey, I mean, as long as it's mechanical, I guess, then that's alright. I mean, hell, even rubber domes can be pretty good. But you can kind of see the kind of sizes. If we're using this as a scale, that we've got plenty of space to move around, the mouse is going to be really going to have a lot of play in it. These mouse pad, like, you don't need one which covers your entire desk like me. Like, this one goes all the way underneath my keyboard. But it's just something to, you know, be aware of, I guess. I'm trying to think, anything else I need to cover? No. As well, in a weird way, like having your monitor at a good height. So you can see here, like having your monitor, like I'm sat at my desk, it's not... One sec. I got a bipod with this now. Tripod's just it. So, I'm not... bipod, why? Bipod. So, there we go, I guess that'll do it. So when I'm sat at my monitor, I kind of, like, my eyes kind of end, like, in an office space, they try and have, they say ergonomic-wise, you should have your monitor kind of, like, I guess 2/3, so there's, like, a third of the screen above and a 2/3 below. But what I found with gaming, I mean, this is personal preference as well, but what I found to be the best thing is to kind of have it, like, so you can look over it. But that's because I like quite an aggressive stance. I like a lot of, oh, turn off. I like a lot of play, I guess. I like it really angled towards me. Now, that isn't always great for everyone. Hi, Belzerna. But like I said, I like that, and yeah. I'll also later, if you want, I will show you how to... In fact, I'll do that now. I'm just going to quickly show you how to set up a crosshair and recursion, because I'm going to be using a crosshair overlay. I think a lot of people should be using them, like more people than they currently do. So I'm just going to switch screens right now. I'm going to show you how to set up a overlay in recursion. So let's move all this to the other screen. Right. Let's see, is this the right key? Yes, it is. Okay, so we have your recursion. You want to install the recursion stat tracker, and you will get to a screen like this. And when you open it, you can add in your characters here. You just type in the name. It's only for the PC version, and you will track them. But to get the crosshair, you need to go on mods, and you click add mods. I already have it installed, so you can see here it says crosshair overlay. Once you click add mod, it's very easy to see. They'll see like an image, then it'll be like so and so crosshair overlay. Click it, install it, and then click on it. You want to click crosshair, you want to click configure, and then you want to navigate to the image. Now, if you want to use my crosshair, the meme Visigodo crosshair, you can navigate to the bottom of my channel on Twitch, and you can see it here. There's this, click this image, and it will take you to an Imgur link with this crosshair. Unlike Playclaw, which I prefer this now, unlike Playclaw, you don't have to add like any kind of like image size values or anything like that. You just have to simply just, I guess, select it. So for me, this is I have many crosshairs I use, and so we can see here we can use Boone Crosshair 3 because Boone originally gave it to me, and it's like my third modification of it. If you want more crosshairs, at the end of this video, I might upload my entire library of crosshairs because I'm that sad. I should mention as well that throughout this, I would recommend if there's something you're getting like stuck on, or like something you think that's a good idea but you might forget it, you can use the clip function to clip like 30-second sections of video. And just in case that for whatever reason you want to like go back to it or bring some up, clipping is a great way to kind of like, say like, look, there's this very specific thing here I'm struggling with. What can I do wrong? Or what am I doing wrong? So I'm going to unscrew my bipod now so I can put my camera in its normal resting position. This bipod actually came with the camera on Amazon, so bipod fell off. Brace your ears. Yeah, so I'm going to put the camera in the regular place and put my headset back on as well. Turn the boost off. I'm going to go to Alt F1. Okay. So, right, go to the regular. Set up the camera just for that. Thank you. It's PC Master Race wallpaper. I've had it for a long time actually. We're just gonna move the webcam cable out of the way. There we go. Right. If you ever wonder as well what peripherals I'm using, they are linked in my channel description. So we're gonna cancel all of that, and we're gonna start at Planetside, and we're gonna actually get playing Planetside now. So they were just the quick things, like some things I wanted to cover because I felt like you can do everything in this video right, but if you're having like a major flaw, like you literally can't move your mouse, move this, because you don't have the room, then it's gonna be hard. Like especially trying to play on a low sensitivity. Now, I'm not going to talk about sensitivity too much, but when I say low sensitivity, I'm talking about you want a big distance, a big centimeters per 360 distance. Now, a lot of the lingo can get confusing if you're not kind of used to talking about sensitivity. But when I say you want a low sensitivity, what I mean is you want a large distance to move your mouse to do a full 360 in game. Don't worry, Planetside will go full screen, don't worry about that. It's just a little bug that happens. There we go. Right, so this is the character I'll be using now. I made a new character just because I want to cover certifications as well, because I think that's always useful. I did log it in earlier and get it out of VR training, so we should be good to go on that front. So I think, let me see. Let's see what the first thing I'm going to cover is, because that was the ergonomics and stuff out the way. Now, I'd probably say, I think pre-firing, because I can explain it without having to show you it quite yet. But I was going to try and, get in a fight and show you as I go. So let's go for certifications as well. Personally, I prefer using a laser sight to a forward grip, but that is personal preference. I have the Commie Desi. So yeah, we need to actually get some kills first. We'll put our implants in as well. Target focus and safeguard, because we're going to be... yeah, this isn't going to be like a proper character or anything. And I also want to go over settings. I updated my config, which is everything. And so these are the graphic settings, pardon me, we're using. I'm using texture quality and ultra because without ultra, my graphics card usage, even when streaming, is not very high. And also I've noticed my webcam looks really, really dark. I'll try and fix that if you want, or if it's fine, just say it's fine. Yeah, so you can see... One sec, if I try that. Yeah, that helps a little bit.
So you can see those are the settings. I would always recommend having a little string on your GPU, but because I always stream with GPU encoding, I found that these settings actually work fine for me. On another side of things, you've got the general. So these are my sensitivities I'm running off. I can tell you now that for a 360 with, this is normal and non-ADS hipfire mouse sensitivity, that's about 31 centimeters, and this for me is 74 centimeters. I should mention as well, my mouse is running at 800 DPI, and my scope sensitivity ends up being like several meters. I will mention that the scoped sensitivity, so for snipers and anything above, I believe a 4x scope on mouse-sensitivity.com, the website I would recommend using all the time, that is actually broken. As far as I'm aware, or last time I checked, the calculator was broken. So let's just turn off these tutorials and hints. We don't need them. We are the tutorial and hint. Okay, so let's go to roast mess. I'm gonna have to get a couple of like ranks so I can get sets and get medkits and all the other things I'll need. But for now we're gonna go in dry. So if we look, so first thing I'm doing now is I'm looking at the minimap. I'm trying to see, okay, so where are people? Where's gonna be safe? Where should I I'll turn it on the audio as well. For now at least. So now I'm seeing that there's a lot of people in this left hand kind of building. There's a lot of friendlies as well. So we're gonna try and like push up a little bit. So what you see here is what I'm doing is I'm doing something I call corner slicing. I think most people with a brain still call it peeking, but I call it slicing, because what you want to do is you want to slice the corner as close as possible. Now we see what that does. If there's an enemy stood where this medic is, if I run around the corner like that, I see him like straight away. But if I aim like that, then I'm going to have to move quite rapidly to kill the medic. And if he is looking at me, he's going to kill me first. Well, he should kill me first. If he doesn't, well, it's his fault. So what you want to do is you want to kind of, you'll see me do it throughout, and you'll kind of get the gist of when I do it and like, you know, when you should do it as well. Oh, no. Oh, someone inside me. Great. Oh, it's kill by friendly. Lol. Great, great. Luckily I made a different character. This wouldn't be a good start. It's NS storage, right, okay. Oh, still people at rationing, no man. We'll stay here because it's a nice small base and the fight's pretty even. So you can see I'm always trying to keep one eye on the minimap, because the minimap in this game is like, well, I've never understood why wall hacks would be a thing. You don't need any SP in Planetside because there's so many different like kind of spotting things that you just need to play really. As long as you're keeping an eye on the minimap. Now, a lot of people like having the minimap a lot more zoomed in than me, because you know it gives you like kind of a more accurate track, I guess. Oh wow. Now to that I would say do it. I would recommend zooming in your minimap to like as max as possible. That's great. Personally though, I do like it zoomed out a little bit more, but that is personal. If I would say, if you want to do the best, you want it zoomed in as much as possible so you can accurately track the people moving around. Friendly Doritos are a prime example, you know. I'll also mention as well, your minimap isn't entirely like 100% accurate, bear in mind, because there is no kind of depth perception with your minimap. They're either in front of you or not, so you might be getting ready to take someone in front of you, but he's actually below you or above you, like on a different floor. Now that's kind of an issue with the game, but you'll get used to that. And you can use things like audio cues, which I'll delve into a little bit later, to figure out, you know, where exactly someone is. Because Planetside does have a lot of audio cues, and being able to listen to them and spot them is really, really nice. So what I'm going to do now is something I'd recommend a lot of people do. When you're in a spawn room, right, instead of running out all the time in these kind of pop fights, you know, we're looking at like 4-to-1 pop, right? Or 3-to-1 pop. I personally wouldn't bother running out the spawn room, getting fucking nuked, and then complaining or getting depressed. Just don't fucking bother. You can snipe from the spawn room, right? Okay, yeah, it's a fucking joke. Don't do this in fights where it's 50-50 pots. But if you're utterly fucking trapped in the spawn room, there is nothing wrong with fucking sniping from it. I don't see, you know, why people give it a bad rep, because to be honest, you're trying to make the best of a bad situation. Like, you're doing it every day in Planetside. And on the minimap side of things as well, that's where your element of pre-firing comes in now. Because there's so many different ways to spot someone in Planetside or have someone spotted, it kind of makes sense, but if you're pretty sure someone's coming around the corner in front of you, just kind of use your minimap to time, because your minimap is like, I'd say about half a second behind, maybe less, maybe more, depending. There's nothing wrong with just kind of pre-firing if you know someone's holding a corner. If they're not holding, then that's fine, you just stop firing. But if they are holding that corner, you can probably kill them with client side as well, especially on Jaegers. You can probably kill them before they can even see you or even react. So that's just another little bonus. I think a lot of the time people do pre-fire without realizing, just because maybe they, I don't know, but I think it happens a lot, and it's a great way if you can pre-fire in combination with client-siding someone. Again, I'll get into client-siding later. It's a little hard for me to demonstrate, but I'm sure that in Jaegers it'll be very, very easy to demonstrate because I seem to have like a sweet spot for ping on Jaegers. So yeah. So right now you can see there's so I'm using my audio cues right now. I'm looking, I can hear people cloaking. I know that guy's above me. I know this guy's below. Yes, he is. Good. Got goon. This guy behind me. I'm dead. I don't have medkits. Lol. But you can see how I use the audio cues of that guy cloaking to like realize there was people around. And you could also see there the kind of the shame of not having any kind of map depth section. I couldn't tell if those guys were above me or below me, but I could pretty much guess that they were going to be above me just because people like to hold that balcony in those rooms. It's a great place to hold. However, you can get overwhelmed really quickly, and if you're not careful, a 2v1 can end you quite easily. So yeah, so right now what I'm doing is I know that there's recon darts around. And I always seem to guess that usually, in my mind, people using recon darts are usually further away. So this is probably a guy who's most likely bolting. So I need to kind of keep moving serpentine a lot. Just make sure I'm not standing still too much. But, okay. So not having medkits is going to suck for a while. Sorry about this. Because I'm kind of going out the fight. Yeah, this is help the shit stream. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to a medic to go as a medic. So instead of wasting... oh, shit. Go around the other side. So instead of wasting, nights on medkits, there's nothing wrong if you know you're going to be safe to just pull in a medic to heal yourself up. Because unfortunately, I think most of you know that resupplying does not give your health back. So let's go and... So you can see there, just kind of like trying to keep 5-round bursts. Now with the Orion, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not the wild's best actually with the bursting health, with the bursting thing. I try and aim for 5-round bursts, and with the anchor and sea weapons, I try and aim for 3-round bursts. I haven't played today actually, so you're gonna see me get slowly better at it throughout the stream. But yeah, so aiming for those, like bursts to try and keep stuff consistent, and you'll get to a point where you are bursting, but it pretty much you're not losing any DPS from it because you're competent enough. You're getting better. That's why we get better. That's how we get better, is by practicing things. And like, hell, if you care about character stats, there's nothing wrong with making another character to practice things. That's why I decided to make this character today, because even though you can see what stats I get, it's not going to affect any of my main characters' weirdness. Oh, I killed a friendly. Oh well. Oh shit! I thought that was dead. So everything's destroyed. Another thing as well, like, Orion burst can even be 10 rounds long. Yeah, that's true, because the Orion is quite forgiving when it comes to bursts. I'd also say the MSWR is, but that's if you're like a biased recoil pattern. By that, I mean, on the MSWR, your recoil doesn't go, left, right, just straight up, like it does more so with the Orion. But the MSWR, it goes biased to the right, I believe. So by pulling down into the left, you completely counteract that recoil pattern, which is fantastic because it gives you, if you're better at recoil compensating, it'll give you this kind of like extra, how shall I put it? Oh yeah, it's gonna serpentine a little bit. If someone's serpentining like that, granted I could have killed him, but if someone's really serpentining, then a lot of the time they're trying to get you to waste your ammo. So you don't have to shoot them. Wait until they stand still, because they're gonna have to shoot back eventually. Pro tip. It sounds a bit of a weird thing, but if you ever played against Dizzy Knight in a scrim, you'll know exactly what I mean. So towers are bait. Towers really kind of play to the strengths of like me, I guess. But I think a lot of heavies would say that. So there is a canister arrestor I'm going to try and stay clear of. Just avoiding bullshit is a great habit to get into. Okay. I'm going to try and run away. Might not work. Might work. There we go. I don't think I've had the Windows 10 Creators Update. Is it the one with game mode? Because I'm feeling game mode might fuck you up. Won't surprise me. Side note as well. So Windows 10 game mode can be. I have it disabled completely through the registry, just because of its effects with Xbox DVR canister. No. Oh, frag grenade. Yeah, of course. Haha. Didn't see frags. Yeah. So you're gonna notice when I'm talking a lot. Like I can talk and frag, but I'm not gonna be like amazing. Just because, you know, you're going to play your best when you're giving the game 100%. And if you're talking, well, you ain't giving the game 100%. So, yeah. I should mention as well, like, if anyone else has this bug where their recursion, like, HUD overlay doesn't always start, that shouldn't affect, or at least in my case, that does not affect my crosshair. So, if you're worried about your recursion not starting, then, basically don't worry. You should be alright. Oh, that's a canister. Yeah, so just like listening for shit. Oh, thank you. I'm not like a bon joueur at this game. I was from point that out. I am not the world's best player, but I'm competent enough at Infantry and have been playing it for a long time that at least some of the things like I don't do, but I will be able to explain them to you. So if you see me like say things, but I'm not doing them 100% how I describe them, it's because, well, I know about them. I'm just a bit lazy to put them into practice. So you can see now what I'm doing is there's a canister harasser now. I'm using my map and I'm using sound cues as well. I know exactly what a canister harasser sounds like. It's scary shit. If you play against the NC, it's something you're going to pick up very, very quickly. Okay. I thought he did a little bit more damage there. Yeah, so you play against NC, it's something you're going to pick up very, very quickly. Okay. So now I'm gonna try and do double peeking. Okay, so double peeking's best used, I found, with the adrenaline shield combo as a heavy. Now by double peeking, what I mean is, say you peek a corner and someone gets you unexpectedly like low on health, which is a pain. You can place the advantage if they don't think you're gonna peek them. So I don't have to do it on this guy. It's probably something that's gonna be better served on Jaeger. It always seems to be easy to demonstrate on a competitive environment. The guy said sorry, I'm okay with that. But by kind of like peeking and then dodging away. So it's something like that. But imagine he was a heavy who was low on health. Not a max. Oh, yeah, avoiding max is great. So, you know what, we're going to go for our certifications right now because I'm starting to miss medkits. So I would straight away suggest going for a medical kit. I'd actually suggest getting 2 straight off the bat if you have the set. I'm gonna keep. In fact, no, right? Okay, so for the first shield, I would recommend resist because resist, each level doesn't actually change how much damage you can absorb. It just changes how quick it regenerates. Yeah, it does. Just double checking. Okay, so I wasted some sets there. So by that means like with the default nanite mesh, every shot, every upgrade increases the damage that you can absorb, or like the amount. It's not actually that much, but if you start with resist, and I recommend ASC as well, it's not expensive at all, then you're kind of you're maximizing your health, and you're also pardon me, you're also like kind of giving yourself the best start in the game. As well, the implants you want to be going for, of course I'm not going to have implants on this character. I would recommend a similar and battle hardened. Those are your friends. Battle hardened because, as you'll see throughout this, okay, that guy's gonna shoot me. As you'll see throughout this, if I'm missing a lot of shots, it's usually because my screen's shaking like quite a bit. And I'm trying to compensate from the screen shake. If you have battle hardened, you know, that isn't going to be a problem. Okay, what I'll show you now is also reload cancelling. So you don't have to wait through this full reload. You can just, once the rocket's in, flip and back. You can probably do that quicker, but you can save about a quarter off the reload before you can refire again. So reload cancelling is something really, really useful. You can do it. You don't have to do it with the Decimate. You can do it with a lot of other weapons as well. Okay. Yeah, this is the issue with these fights. You know what? I might actually go to a biolab, because a biolab is a great place to showcase any infantry stuffs. So we've talked about double peeking. I'm gonna put some in really. I should mention as well, please correct me if I'm wrong, anyone in chat who does know this, but I believe against pure body shots, I'm pretty sure Adrenaline and Nano Wave, by the way, that's what that's referring to. Adrenaline Wave will actually give you the most theoretical health. But that's against pure body shots. Once you add headshots into the mix, I do believe resist is actually better. But I could be wrong. So you can see what here I'm trying to do is I'm trying to kind of peek in a way where I'm not going to get sniped. Because I know there are snipers, okay? I've been in these fights enough to know that if I stay still for too long, either he's going to headshot me or he's going to body shot me. So I just need to kind of be aware of that. I'm also kind of... That's why I don't really want to leave the tower right now. You can see all the snipers in the cliffs. Yeah, I can hit... So there, I could hear an infiltrator cloaking. And I also had spotted enemy heavy in the NC voice. So I know that... Basically, I know that there's an infil over there. And I believe he's in that house there. I know that there's an infil there. I know that if I peek, if he doesn't instantly headshot me, he's going to body shot me, and he's just basically going to take me out the next engagement. Because I'll have no cover to work with, I'll have nothing to work with at all like that. So that would go like that. So like I say, you want to hug corners as you go around them. So you want to, like, double peeking isn't too, like that isn't too great, but double peeking in like a really aggressive way. You can try and client-side people as much as possible, which is a really, really useful thing to do. Mastering kind of client-siding will make you like so annoying to play against. We've got a squad invite, let's join a random squad. And by doing that, you become a bit more of a force to be reckoned with. Recommend as well, even in these situations, where chances are I can out-aim most people, having people to back you up is great. They're not there to kind of like help you kill. Imagine them there because they're your meat shields. You need their sponge. There's something else for the enemies to shoot at apart from you, which is going to give you a lot more kind of room to play with, whereas to outflank your enemy. So I'm going to take this guy, I know he's there. I didn't pre-fire that much, but I don't think I pre-fired really at all. There's a heavy up there, okay. So I'm trying to just peek around. There's a C4, got chucked. Good try. Don't know what they were doing. Right. It's worth as well knowing if you're playing against someone like a Russian, because a Russian's going to have much better luck client-siding than you are. Just because that's how client-side hit detection will affect you. I'm avoiding this house as well just because there's a max. I'm going to try and explain everything, but yeah. He got me there. You could see there how he like just if you can tell, I took damage. I think I did. Let me just rewatch it back. But for the most part, you'll start taking damage before the animations kind of sync up, and that's just because of client-side hit detection. He's started shooting before, you know, on your screen he's even looking at you. That's why you see some random bugs. And on Jaeger, if we play later, if you see anyone from like who's going to have like quite a high ping, then you'll notice that their animations might jut around a bit. Or someone who's like got packet loss now. Packet loss probably helps more than ping. And people can exaggerate that, and it is cheating. Like, exaggerating packet loss is cheating, but it will probably give you an advantage. So right here, I'm trying to flank. Now, I should mention as flanking. This isn't like Battlefield where I can just empty a guy, flank around and kill everyone by emptying like a mag into him. I see Planetside, and it's good to see it as like having quite a long time to kill. You can see on the map now I'm using it. Notice there's a canister harasser. And the reason that becomes an issue is because with a long time to kill, you might flank and you might not even get a single person if they can react quick enough, right? So you need to be able to not overstay your welcome, I guess. Also in that situation there, that guy's pre-aiming. If I pre-aim and he pushes, I'm fucked. So that's why I went for the hip fire. And I prefer personally to use a laser sight on my Orion if I'm given the choice. So there's conch coming in there. There's no implants left to kind of reduce the effects of conch, so I've just got to get out of there. There's no choice. Just trying to get in right now. He's kind of... Oh, I got rag. I thought I killed a friendly there. Probably helped in his death. So, yeah, as well, like there you could see, knowing what surfaces you're going to need to jump on is a huge thing, because wall jumping, whether you think it's an exploit or not, is part of the game, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. So if you learn how to wall jump, and specifically you know what surface to wall jump on, it becomes a lot easier. I do have video on like kind of different surfaces you can wall jump on. There we go, killed by Zephyr, brilliant. So you can look for that. It's on my YouTube channel. I'm Killing Logan on YouTube, so you can have a look at that. For me, I'm in the UK. So for me at the moment in the UK, it is 6:30. So yeah. Right. So what can I show you now? You know what? In fact, we're just going to do something first. We're going to put this on because I'm a baller. And I give myself like a massively long name. And we're also going to do the most important thing, by the way, which is cosmetics, just because I'm a little bored right now. I'm also going to check what it was that I should cover next. Okay, there we go. Right. Let's have a look. Pre-fire and double peeking. Now, positioning. Okay, yeah, so while I'm talking about like using the mini-map and like noticing the threats around you, you're going to want to change your position accordingly. If you don't see anyone outside, like, or you don't see any vehicles like around the base you're at, chances are you can play a bit more aggressively. But if you'll notice, when I'm looking back at the mini-map, if I see something like a Reaver or anything outside which is an enemy vehicle and it looks like, or I can feel or I can hear like a Banshee, an air hammer, or I can see my screen shake due to like a Bulldog from something, I'll try and stay somewhere with a roof, just because I don't want to get fragged. Likewise, if I'm somewhere where there's like shit around the spawn room, I'm not going to leave it. I've joined an outfit. Whose outfit have I joined? Okay. It's darkness, cool. Yeah, so just what you need to get used to is knowing what information is going to be relevant, because you can have a total sensory overload if you're trying to pick up everything, right? But bear in mind, there is a lot of information which you can use which will be relevant. And you can also... Oh, Void Guardians, get that. Whoop, whoop. And then also reacting to that in an appropriate way. You know, like not going like to really exposed places where there is no cover, where you can't come back. If there's like a Banshee mosquito outside, that's just not something you would do. I recommend it at all. Pick up a light assault for now. Oh, that's Jackie. Oh, what has happened? I'm gonna redeploy because that is a weird bug. Look at that. My FPS is cool. So I have an FPS counter in the bottom left. You want to have settings where you can target like whatever your monitor refresh rate is. Personally, I have 144 Hz monitor. What the fuck is happening? Right, I'll pull a vehicle and see if this helps, because this is actually stupid. Ping is fine. I can't believe this is happening right now. I know about this bug, but it isn't supposed to happen. Okay, so I'm going to pull out a scythe and hopefully that fixes things. It does. Okay, so while I'm there, while I'm going to this fight, let me explain heavy loadouts for you. That's a good one. Okay, so for heavy, I would recommend your Empire-specific kind of like high DPS LMG. So for the Orion for the VS, the Cav or the MSWR for the TR, depending. But I prefer the Cav, like in a weird way, but sometimes prefer the MSWR, or the Anchor for the NC. Mainly because these are going to give you the most DPS, and therefore they're going to give you the best chance in taking a 1v1 engagement as a heavy. I personally would recommend most people to run a forward grip and a 1x optic, and soft point on the Anchor as well. That's quite good, and soft point on the MSWR, just because you're extending that damage range, so you're going to be more effective at certain ranges, which is bare. I would also recommend, if you're quite an aggressive player and you're kind of confident fragging, I would recommend Nano Weave and Adrenaline. However, if you're a bit more conservative, I would actually recommend Resist ASC. Resist ASC gives you the most like theoretical health, but just be aware as well about what suit slots like flak armor actually stack with your shields. I believe Resist doesn't actually stack with flak armor where Adrenaline does. So just be aware if you're running something like that. Obviously, I believe Nano Weave doesn't flak Nano Weave does not stack with Resist Shield either. So when you have Resist Shield on, but you have Nano Weave as well, you're not getting the Nano Weave bonus. Oh, shit. I might die. You're not getting the Nano Weave bonus plus the Resist bonus. You're literally just getting one or the other depending on what you have. I'm in neither AC or Dasan Fall. I'm in Vogu. Yeah, I don't have ejection seat, lol. That's why I brought Light Assault. Plan Miller, I'm English. Yeah. So those what I would recommend. For grenades, I would recommend a conch in comp, but for the most part, I would recommend a frag just because it's easy to conk your friendlies. I'd recommend the full amount of medkits. Knife, go for your life. Whatever you want to use, as long as it's, you know, regular knife, I guess. I would also recommend, if you're not a farmer and you're not someone who's finding yourself running out of ammo, I wouldn't really bother with ammo printer. But if you're someone who's getting high KD sessions, you know, going for a lot of kills, and you feel like you're running out of ammo and that's the thing holding you back, then ammo printer is like fantastic. But for the most part, I would recommend Battle Hardened because Screen Shake's a bitch and it's surprising how many 1v1s you'll lose because of it. And I would also recommend Assimilate because if you can headshot as well, Assimilate is a huge thing. Without it, it's like just 100 health isn't much. But by headshotting, you really extend how long you're going to live in this game. And you can take more respectable 1v1s. As for the Light Assault side of things now, Kiss My Asphalt and chat, Redditor is probably a better Light Assault than I am. I'm a Light Assault from the Woodman days when people would, you know, just run shotguns all the time. But we can see that that wasn't much of a double peak, but I knew that guy was low on health. And I knew he'd be running away. I could see on the map that he was running away. I could also just tell that as a medic, he does not have the staying power to beat me. So instead of taking time to ADS and corner slice, I just went in for the quick kill. It is greedy, and if someone was to kind of double peek me or there was someone else around that corner and I didn't have map vision, chances are they would kill me there. But that's why by having map vision, by having anything like that, by having any kind of, intel, I knew that I would probably win that engagement. Yeah, cheers, man. 5 extra viewers. I would also say as well, while we're going with this, by the way, is my webcam too dark? Just tell me. I've changed the light settings. You know what, I forgot. Also, while I'm in a biolab, I'm going to just go over a couple of nice biolab jumpy spots, as I call them. Places where you can get onto the biolab roof as a heavy or even a max. So by doing that, you kind of like Light Assaults themselves rely pretty extensively on flanking. However, as a heavy assault, if you can like kind of take the flank away from a Light Assault, you take away one of their biggest advantages. And you win. This guy's seeing me up here. So I just want to point there as well. Audio cue number 2. That guy's using a tar. He's dead. So I know that he has more theoretical DPS than me, so I need to take these fights in a way which I'm going to basically outlive him. So let's is that guy's going to get rezzed yet? Now I want to point out as well, if someone is using cosmetics, like heavy cosmetics, they might not take a res. Like knowing when people are going to take a res is huge, because you can like basically, if you know someone's not going to take a res, if you know the kind of player you're against, like pro infantry farmers or people like myself who, you know, kind of like care about killing a lot and not dying a lot with it. Wow, okay. I'll have to reshow that. Their chances are they're not going to take a res. Okay, so there's no point, if you know you killed them and they're getting res, unless they're doing some kind of like squad ops, there's no real point of bothering to spend 10 seconds. Oh, there we go. So yeah, no point of spending 10 seconds looking at the ground, looking at their corpse, because chances are they're not going to take that res. Okay, so I got caught out there. What I should have done, which I was going to do until I got distracted by that heavy, is I should have actually waited, because I had an inkling in my head, but I didn't see anything on the map. Now, that's how much you can rely on the map as, like, your best friend. If I'd have seen that medic on the map, I wouldn't have pushed. I'd have waited for that medic to come into the building so I could kill the medic and also the heavy. However, I didn't see him on the map. So the map is something you can kind of crutch on. It's always worth taking that information with a pinch of salt, because it could be wrong, like you say there. But this is all part of developing what I call like, or I think a lot of people also call it game sense. And if you're not kind of familiar with that concept or that term, it's not Planetside or any game specific. It's just the idea of someone who's played a game so much or is so good at games that they know what the enemy is going to do before they even do it. It's why a lot of like really good pro players, a lot of people get confused and say, that guy's using a wall hack, how could he have known that? Well, because he's been in this situation hundreds of times before, and using like the power of deduction, like fucking Sherlock Holmes, you can kind of guess when someone's going to do something. And that is called game sense, basically. There's a lot of different games, and a good game that you can see that happening is StarCraft 2. Now, as that's kind of top down, you can kind of see these people who, they just know what their opponent's doing. They're not scouting it, but they just know. So yeah. You can see they're taking my base. So I'm looking on the map as well. I'm seeing these people around the spawn room. And you can also tell a lot by the way they move on the mini-map. Oh wow, this lag is ridiculous. Oh, not lag, it's just this weird stuttering lag. It's going and then it's coming. It's weird. I'm sorry about this. Ping's fine. FPS is fine, actually. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm seeing that people are starting to ram around and crowd this building. He's up there, right, okay. I could tell that guy was a light assault by the way that when he entered this building, he didn't enter through the doors. He just kind of entered like the side. So he had to be a light assault. And the only place he could light assault, oh, I'm getting sniped, to there was was the roof. So I want to point out as well, one of the biggest bonuses with, okay, so that peek, that there where I went to peek back, if I hadn't have killed him, I was about to take another engagement, because what he does there with the double peek is I fake going into cover, when in actual fact, so he then stops aiming down sights and he goes to chase me, and then I peek back, he's not ready to take the engagement, I shoot him in the head, he fucks up, he gets mad, calls me a wall hacker, and GG, that's it. That's how double peeking works, essentially. You're trying to catch an enemy who should have an advantage, you're trying to turn it on their head, and you're trying to be the one with the advantage. I would mention as well, if you're switching weapons a lot, I personally find, I'm going to say I personally a lot, because I'm trying to teach you from my own experiences. I find something like bullet velocity to be kind of this statistic which probably affects me the most. So using like medium particle settings, if you have a good enough CPU, which is, you don't need a really good one, like using medium particle settings can really like help you adjust to a weapon. So when I switch between weapons, I often switch particles onto medium, as it just helps me lead a bit better. So on low particles, my leading is going to be pretty inconsistent at the moment, but I'm trying to give you like the best idea with, with like these settings. What you also want to try and do is get yourself in a spot where you're not going to be pressured into taking an engagement when you need to reload. So right now what I'm doing is I'm trying to slice this corner like I was doing earlier. Hey Al, wagwam. I'm trying to slice this corner so I'm not overexposing in case there's a sniper. I'm literally, the second I see a shoulder, I'm going to pre-aim for the head and shoot. That's what the corner slicing and peeking is. And if I combine that with good positioning, like I'm not getting too close because I know that there are a lot of people and there's also vehicles in the way. I would also recommend giving this guy rocket splash, but yeah. So there I peeked, I could see him before, and I took the client side advantage. Oh, hang on. I'm taking damage from somewhere, I don't know. So yeah, I'm just trying to take engagements as they go, using my own knowledge of like being in this game. So a lot of this is actually, kind of the development of knowledge. Like aim is easy to develop. You just got to practice a lot. However, knowledge is something you're going to have to develop. You can read a textbook and recite it, but to actually understand it, you've got to learn. So it's just like that. You need to apply, like getting good at gaming isn't like just about muscle memory and shit. You can have the world's best aim, but play really shit because you take bad decisions. Also, you can see as well how I live off the control key, to the fact where I don't so much ADAD, I just crouch a lot. And also, if you want to be someone who doesn't like die a lot of that comes from what I'm doing now, where the base is about to be capped. I don't have much ammo left. I've got no medkits left. There's no engineers to put down ammunition. I'm just going to get mobbed. Just redeploy. Right. So, again, using that sense. If you don't care about dying, then by all means, just fucking go out in a blaze of glory. But personally, I see not dying as like kind of like a challenge because it's pretty hard in a lot of situations. So we're back in our biolab now. I might regret showing this, but recently, this is like an old spot, but I've recently been enjoying using it again. So you can just climb up this. Hello. And you can just jump. You do need like, oh, my bad. It's not that hard. So to do wall jumps, you do need certain amounts of FPS. Certain wall jumps require more FPS. So that's another reason why you'd want to play on like lower settings, or at least in the settings where you get the most FPS. Why can't I do this today? What's happening, James? Right, there we go. You get a little bit of a run up, and you get onto these trees. So what it lets you do is you can shoot down there, but you can also go around. If I can do it today, yeah, I can. So you can go around onto here. You can also see over there if someone's camping the SCU. Oh, there's another guy. And you can jump onto this building here by following the tree. But I want to go kill this medic. So that's just another little biolab spot. I don't see people use that because it's not quite as useful as being on the roof, but it is still useful. As you can see there again, straight in for the hip fire, not bothering with the ADS. It's very close range. I know that I can track his head, but he's not going to be moving that much. And I'm just wasting time. By the time I ADS, he could have decloaked and fired a couple of shots into me with client-side lag. So just being aware of that, not taking any risks. That's a good one. I should mention as well, streaming does kind of decrease my FPS by about 30. So no matter how good your computer is, the best way to stream is to have a different computer. In case you're just wondering about streaming, and if you want to stream Planetside and stream other games, like how it might affect you. So I'm gonna go for this jump as well. I think my FPS is a little too low. I think this is 120 FPS jump, but we'll see. So this kind of like corner here, this kind of like lip, on all these buildings, you can't do it from the bottom. But on all these buildings, because a lot of these buildings are copy-paste, you'll see this building in particular in a lot of places, you can jump up this kind of like flat side panel. So let's go for it now. We just want to spam shift and like strafe into the wall. So there we go. We go up on there and we jump on. Now all biolabs are the same for this. And I will mention though that this can be quite a risky jump area if people have control of the double, of the banana building, I call it. You see this crescent-shaped building, which we all call banana, because... and now this lets you get on top of the biolab. You can go onto the top of the SCU, everything else. Oh, hello. That was bad, but you could see how the light assault, he's not really going to fare well against the heavy. So you can also jump. This is a little awkward to do, but you can also jump this way. It's a little awkward to do, and I do actually fuck it up quite a lot, because the nature of Planetide's system, the more, you might have noticed, the more you jump, like, the less momentum you have. So you can't jump too much. And you need to get a good run up and like a good position. This is quite an inconsistent jump, but if you can do it quickly, then it's pretty alright. Because there's not really much of a rush at the moment, I'm just going to quickly show it off. Okay, it's not really working now, is it? Sometimes it helps. Mentally helps me if I get a medkit out. Yeah, I'm jumping away from the wall too much. I'll try it one more time until we go to the other spot. Now, there is a very easy way to get on top of the rocks in the biolab, and then subsequently this banana building, man, jumping off. Yeah, oh god, I can't show it because there's people around it, damn it. Oh, I'm gonna have to do this. I'm gonna have to do this. Normally I don't feel it that bad, to be fair. So, yeah, I failed it. Alright, okay, let's just jump down. Let's have another angle of attack. I find that much easier to do when streaming, and I'm pretty sure that's due to the fact that when I'm streaming, my FPS just goes a little low in these bigger fights at Advari Biolab. So you can jump up these rocks here now. Shall I attempt it because there are maxes? Yeah, well, let's, why not? So you can jump up these rocks, very, very quickly. And that's probably the easiest way. You can use a max to get onto the, use a max to get into this area of the biolab. And then you can go, oh, I'm dead, I'm so dead. Aha, I'm not. To kind of jump and then go over here, this little rock I failed to jump up. So yeah, sadly not today, sadly can't do it today. But you can see my FPS dipping below 100, so I believe that is a 120 FPS jump. So obviously I'm not going to be able to do it today. I could get close, but, So right now, these light assaults, as long as I know where they're coming from, and at the moment I should, because they are pinned in this biolab, they only have, one place to come from, they're not going to get behind me at any time. So these are all little things to be aware of. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a little flank, so I can show off, flanking and how I'd approach that. I wouldn't really recommend the flank I'm about to do because since about 6 months after the release of the game, flanking around the outside of a biolab has become pretty deadly with the kind of mass use of air-to-ground, like Banshee Mosquitoes or PPA Scythes or hammers or lol pods even. But it's just something to be aware of that, flanking, you can still do it, and I think people now expect it a lot less, so this guy's coming with me, so I'll have 2 of us. So when flanking, you have to take it in a more of a cautious way, because if you're flanking a room full of very good players, and usually that's when you'll be flanking, when players are good or they have a lot of backup around them, you might only get off 1 kill before dying, which is not great. That's not what you want to do with a flank. With a flank, you've put in a lot of effort to getting around the side of somewhere or being in an unknown place, so you want to kind of stay that way. You often find that recon darts as well, or motion spotters, will give away your flanks. So just be really, really careful that you have good places to be. So I'm going to reload my Desi for reasons. Right. And you don't want to be too aggressive with the flank. Like I said earlier, you can't just expect to down someone, down a full group of players in one magazine. You've got to pick your fights. You've got to make sure that these players have no idea where you are. So there, I'm trying to land people up, hit them in the head, kill them as fast as possible. I have been found, but yeah, I'm playing around the cover. What I'm doing as well is I'm distracting these guys. So instead of shooting, at my friends in the biolab, they're shooting at me. So we've capped me. That's actually pretty good. So around here, this is a great place to fall off, by the way. So I wouldn't recommend always coming here. You can see here, I'm just gonna best away. This guy don't know where I am. Hit him in the head. You want to just maximize these kills, Spitfires. So yeah, these people do know where I am, and I'm out of ammo. Shit. Go aggressive when they don't expect it. I got killed by. Oh, okay, change. Yeah, so like I said there, you don't want to just rush in or just empty your magazine, which I did, but I did it in a way which was controlled. I could sneak back into cover. I could reload. Let's take this res for Mr. Medic. I had plenty of places to go. I made quite a good. NC heavy guns, I would recommend the Anchor, and if you're good at recoil compensation, the standard Gorsaw and Godsaw, the Erexian weapon, are actually some of the best weapons in this game. The EM6 is also good, but I don't like the accuracy on it. I'd recommend using, so if it's an NC weapon, I'd go with something with 600 RPM with 167 damage, that damage model. On VS and TI, you're good at with 750 at 143. Obviously, anything better than that is great. To be honest, Cyclone Heavy is one of the most annoying things to go against, along with Armistice Heavy for the VS for the TR, because they put out such a high DPS, and with their ADS movement speed multipliers, they become very hard to track in close quarters, especially on somewhere like an environment like Jaeger's. So bear that in mind. I'm actually going to switch back to Adrenaline Shield. I'm going to start setting into Adrenaline Shield so you can see how I'd play with that and how I'd try and use the aggression to my advantage. So let's go. We're going to actually go with Nano Weave, and we're going to go with Adrenaline Shield. It is expensive to unlock as well, Adrenaline, so if you're a new player and you're looking for something to set out, you can waste a lot, or not waste a lot, but you can spend a lot of sets getting Adrenaline, which is why it helps to, look up guides, know what's going to play best for you. Pardon me. Drinking Coke. I'm tempted to relog as well, just because my FPS feels a little too low. So just bear with me while I relog. And I'm going to restart recursion. And it'll be good because we'll let the fights kind of breed. So just restart recursion. See if we can get an overlay working. So yeah, we need to be able to kind of see things. And I'm also, while we're at this, I'm just going to check everything's going swell with that. So, let's go with aggressive, or when to be aggressive with positioning, okay? So this again leads back to the minimap. You'll notice things lead back to other things, and the minimap is often one of the things stuff leads back to. If you can kind of pick up on characteristics, in the way people move when they're using certain weapons. And what I'm talking about now is shotguns. Yes, I have a YouTube channel, but I don't really use it. I think I'm going to archive this out. Medic guns, The GR-22, the Carnage AR. Now, if you, as a medic on in the NC, if you struggle to recoil compensate, the Carnage AR has a very, very good damage model. Well, 750 at 143, and it's like a laser beam. It has very, very little recoil. It is fantastic. You can burn through a big magazine very quickly because of its fire rate and its, you know, everything else about it. But it is insanely accurate. So if you're a medic on the NC, I would highly recommend the Carnage AR. For the VS, I would recommend the HV45. That's not a medic. HV45. Where are you? There we go. And for the TR, I would recommend the TAR. There's medics. So we can see now we're trapped in our spawn. There isn't a lot we can do. Let's have a look. It's Red October. They're doing their thing. They're attacking these bases now. It's worth reminding, like I said earlier, if you don't want to peek at these fights and you don't want to move out, do not feel like you have to. You don't have to be someone who's, you know, dying kind of like and getting annoyed. If you really don't want to be in this, like right now there's so many Banshee Mosquitoes around. If you don't want to, if you're just gonna get annoyed, redeploy, go somewhere else. Beauty Planetside. You're not stuck in a lobby. You can go other places on the map. Just be aware that if you're like me or you want to keep getting kills and farming, then you might prefer to maybe stop playing. But let's have a look. We've got Hossin open as well. Hossin is fantastic for infantry fights, by the way. Yeah. So what I was saying, yes, characteristics. Now, I can usually, like, I'd say about 60% of the time, which is, you know, more than random. I'd say maybe 70% as well. I can look at the way someone's moving on the minimap and like kind of guess, are they using a shotgun? Are they using a like an assault rifle or anything like that? What weapons are they using? Because being able to identify if someone's using a shotgun or like an SMG or something which is a really high DPS output is a great way of being able to kind of like know when you want to be aggressive onto someone. Now, for the most part, if someone's using a shotgun and you can identify that by the way they're moving, they'll often move a bit more sporadically. They'll move, if there's like a building like this, they'll be moving around it quite fast, usually because they're a light assault, or they'll be trying to like avoid these long range engagements. So people, they might be purposely taken. If you can like figure that out, the narrow paths or like kind of close quarter paths, you've got someone who's using a shotgun. And you kind of want to avoid being aggressive with those guys. You want to try to draw out the engagement distance, make them take engagements which are unfavourable for them. Once you do that, shotguns become a lot easier to deal with, but you will still get fragged by them because they do have the insane DPS output. So it's still not to be laughed at. So now these guys are doing outfit ops, so I would not be surprised if these guys don't take a. I'd be surprised. There we go. He took a res. They are taking a res. I need to reload. Also, just a heads up as well. I would use the shotgun. The commissioner. Use it like a pocket shotgun. Someone actually asked me the other day, you know, how would you recommend using a commissioner, which is a bit weird. But you want to use it like a pocket shotgun. Even if your main's full, in close quarters, you can pretty much one-shot people with a headshot of the commissioner, which is actually pretty easy. So you want to use the commissioner like it's like this really high damage, but not very effective at range, you know, secondary or even primary. But that's like, yeah, that's what I'd recommend. We can actually go surprisingly aggressive with it because of its very, very good damage output. Light assault weapons. Okay, so it kind of depends how aggressive you want to play as a light assault. Oh, someone's behind me here. Well, but for the VS, I'm not too good. VS the Serpent is a great carbine, but the Pulsar C is also like fantastically good in situations where you're like above someone, like at the top of a tower, and you're trying to shoot down because it's instant damage. I really like the default mercenary for the NC. I know that's a bit weird. It's not the most competitive carbine, but because I play in a way with light assault where I'm kind of not taking engagements head on, I'm, you know, like above them, farming them from above. I find that they're kind of like the really, really good damage model and also like good controllable fire rate, and make it like a prime target. But also the GD7F, which I refer to as the GG7F, because if you're against someone who's headshotting you with that thing, just that's it, you're dead. You're so dead, so quickly. Yeah, so I just took that quickly because it was being copped. Yeah, so as well with bursting, I found them NC weapons are like the Anchor and the Mercenary are like the sweet spot, at least for me, of bursting and getting in rhythm, because you're not really sacrificing any DPS, and your accuracy with NC weapons while bursting is insanely good. It's just amazing what you can do. So I would really recommend the Mercenary, but the GD7F, if you like that close range light assault, is also deadly. The Jaguar for the TR, obviously the Jaguar, that's fantastic. And the Lynx is also, I think people ignore it because it's low pair shot damage, but the Lynx can also kill you very, very quickly if you're not ready for it. And max weapons, fuck you for ever pulling a max, but I will tell you what I'd run anyway. I would personally run blue shifts, dual blue shifts of course, on the VS max, 2 dual mercies on the TR max, and probably dual Mattox on the NC max. Funnily enough, I don't think it's been patched yet, but if with slug max, this is including dual max as well, if as an NC slug max you crouch and you shoot like at a steady rate, your shots with the slugs will be 100% accurate. 100% accurate. And what's very interesting about max weapons, as you'll see here, the blue shifts, they don't have any drop off. So you can do with slugs, which are 100% accurate, the same damage as you would at 50 meters as you would at 5 meters. That includes headshot multipliers, which I believe are 1.5. So you're doing a lot of damage with slug max at very long ranges. You can snipe with them. This might have been fixed. This might have been on fixed but changed. But I haven't heard anyone say it has been. So if you're playing with slug maxes, you can have pretty much like an OP battle rifle in your personal farming suit. So bear that in mind. Something to bear in mind. I should actually go and test it, shouldn't I? Shall we test it? I think I'm just going to quickly test it. We'll see. Now, I don't want to teach people how to play max, but it is something worth noting. So we'll see. I do have slugs for this character. We'll turn on particles for a sec. So what I'm telling you is, if you're an NC max user, you've just found like, oh my god, and you didn't know about this, like, oh my god, this is amazing. But if you're against an NC max with slugs, now you know you're never safe at any range. So let's quickly go to the warp gate, grab ourselves a max, and we're just going to see about this. Also, double peeking while on the surface of maxes. Double peeking is really well done against a max. If you can like peek, reload, and re-peek, or like kind of fake him out and get him to show himself he's in cover, it's a great way of getting someone to kind of peek as a max, and then you can see them. So scatter cannon, I can buy slugs. Yes, I'm gonna go with Mattock slug Mattock here, and we're gonna go with. Oh, I can't buy a Mattock, but I can show it with one, can't I? Yeah. Okay, so let us turn on particles, do high, because this will give us the best. So if we crouch, yeah, so you can see it's perfectly accurate. So you can see that is basically 100% accurate. And so imagine if I had 2 of these. The only reason it doesn't look accurate is because of the screen shake I'm getting. Okay, so maybe it isn't anymore. But that it's pretty fucking accurate. So bear in mind, if you have 2 of those, with them about, I'd say that's like 80% accuracy, you know, and that's, look at the range. So if I had 2 of these doing that, it would be very good. So I'm sorry, but that's something I want to cover as well, because I feel like if more people know about that, then maybe slug maxes might actually get changed, or maxes in general get changed. So we're going to go back to VS. Now, let me think. What else do I need to cover while I load into the game? Doing corner slice in developing games, let's use some minimap positioning. Double peeking, pre-firing, and basic economics. Right. I'm going to try demo. Okay, so this is a nice close quarters base where I can probably demo some more things, like pre-firing and all that. So again, we've seen the minimap. We're seeing the minimap. We're kind of like we know they're not on our level because we're not dead yet and we're on top of them, but also we can follow the skull and crossbones. Just a pro tip as well with positioning. If you see a lot of skulls and crossbones... Oh, I need to turn off particles. If you see a lot of skulls and crossbones, like dead friendlies in an area, don't then go into that area because whatever's killing them will probably kill you. So you need to have your wits about you a bit. What I'm saying is don't blindly go where other people have gone before and failed. So that guy missed shit. Just so yeah, bear this all in mind. So we're going to push up with the max. Use max as like mobile cover. And bear in mind that if you are playing like with a max on your side, you may also find yourself getting rocket primary more because they're not necessarily going for you, but they might get out a rocket and you might naturally... Let's put someone just conked in. There we go. Oh, hello. Now, these guys should accept because, like I said earlier, these guys seem to be playing together. So we're going to bear in mind that those guys... If these guys were just randomly playing, then chances are they wouldn't take the res. So, yeah. So Max coming around this corner. Yep. Baited. Running through a Max is surprisingly... Oh, shit. Surprisingly... oh, no. Friendly. Yeah, don't run through friendlies if you see you shooting either. So because I'm using Adren, I'm being a little bit more aggressive because the more kills I get as Adren, the better I do. Because the more my shield regenerates. Okay. He's there. So I shouldn't really be doing this. But that guy is a default max standard. I'm getting killed. Yeah. So took a bad engagement there. But he's a default standard max. He's playing very passive despite having a lot of health. So I can do little things like that. It's getting a bit greedy. But like I say, I'm still doing alright. I'm not dying a lot. But you need to be able to that kind of look. Like cosmetics do play a role in Planetside. If you see, especially maxes with like default weapons, chances are they do not pull maxes. They are not good with maxes. So I'm not saying you should just, you know, shit all over them or be real cocky around them, but you can probably get away with more than just hiding in a corner like I would maybe with like a good scat max or something like that, or a pounder max. So please bear this in mind. Also, being able to identify people by tags is a big thing. If I see someone moving on the map, I can probably... Usually, if I'm playing against someone from BHO, I can tell if that player's good by just looking at the map. Or if I can tell... I can usually tell who I'm looking at based on what I'm seeing them do on the minimap. The minimap really is so important. It can't be stressed how important a minimap is in Planetside. It's your free ESP. So please use it, because there's always people spotting, no matter what. Right, let's go. So we're going to try and put these things in. He's probably... Yeah, he's going to take it. Definitely going to take it. Right. This guy's getting aggressive. People are starting to get rocket primaries out, so they're probably desperate right now. I'm going to chuck a nade through there. I'm not amazing with nades. This guy's probably going to take... Yep, he's going to take the res because they're playing in a group. So getting shot by friendlies. Okay. Took the res before, I'll take it again. I don't want to shoot too many friendlies right now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to go way too aggressive. Because I can. We're like I said, with Adrenaline Shield, you want to be getting these kills as quick as possible. Especially if you're at no shields. Like, it's a kind of ultimatum. You either stay in cover and wait for your shield to regen, or you've got to be like confident enough that you're going to take 1v1s. You're going to out-peak your enemy. So now I'm going a bit too aggressive. Yeah, and I paid the price. I got killed by a friendly there as well. Round of applause. You can be the world's best player in Planetside, and you can be having one of the best streaks in the game, but you will still find friendlies. You will still get killed by friendlies, is what I'm saying. And I'll tell you now, I probably spend a lot of time not only positioning around enemies, but positioning around friendlies. Because a friendly, unlike an enemy, it's I don't know. I'd say they're actually more dangerous in a lot of situations. Just because. An enemy you can trick into shooting you. A friendly, on the other hand, I'm dead. This is kind of where adrenaline shields coming in handy. I took 2 kills because every time I got a kill, I got a little bit more shield, so I could survive an extra shot. So stacking that with Nano Weave, of course, is a brilliant thing to do. See, top of the scoreboard, yes. That's where we want to be. No boost. Yeah. Okay. So I guess I'm gonna find another fight and talk through what I'm doing. Now, in reality, I do play a lot more passive than this. But for the purpose of demonstration, I'm showing you the way you should play if you want to get the most out of your engagements. If you just want to kill. In 2 hours, I believe, I think it's 1900, I don't know. I think it's 20 UTC actually. 8 o'clock UTC. There will be a public pickup. And public pickup, if you're not familiar, is something which happens on Jaeger, where they give you like an account which can log into a special decommissioned server called Jaeger. Oh, I'm dead. No, I'm not dead. Cool. Yeah. Sometimes the hip fire isn't always the best, but if you can AD enough like that, you can win. I actually just want to show you that as well, because if you notice, when I crouch, I don't just go up and down, I go through the floor almost. Now, this makes you really hard to track, especially when the server's under load and tick rate, pardon me, is low. Pardon me. Now, sometimes, we all know about AD/ADM, but with not having like a very high 0.75 or not having a very high ADS multiplier, the speed multiplier, the speed at which you move while aimed down sights, you might be still quite easy to hit. Now, what I like to do to counter that is I like to do the classic drop shotting, or in other games it's drop shotting. In this one we just go up and down, up and down, up and down. However, to be able to do it effectively, it takes a lot of practice, because you can't just mash it, otherwise it doesn't really work. You have to be able to time your kind of crouches effectively, and if you don't let it bottom out, but you kind of let go at the right time, you do that little floor glitch thing. It makes people really hard, because your hitboxes, as far as it feels like as well, your hitboxes actually kind of like go out desync with your model, which means that enemies then struggle to accurately hit your head. However, there is a problem to this. If you're against someone who either has a very good aim and they're going to hit you in the head, like a surprising amount of people will, or you're against someone who's not going for headshots, but instead of kind of like chesty body shot kind of area, I don't know why I had to show that, then you're going to crouch into their headshots, and you will probably die. But you could see there, the guy I was against, he didn't actually crouch. He just, I didn't shoot at my crouch. He just shot at me. So I kind of got the better of it. So I like to do this little circular motion like that. Now, I notice I also move it, like, in real life. That's because I'm so immersed in the game. But, yeah, that doesn't help with anything, turns out. But being able to kind of master that 1v1 movement meta is a huge deal. And that will really give you an advantage, because everyone can hit shots, right, on a standing target or even like a slowly ADing target. But not everyone can track a target which is moving like up and down and left and right, and all of a sudden their aim gets confused and out of shape. You'll see mine do that against people who do that, Like, even if you're not a laggy player, like I am probably one of the least laggy players on the server. Not the least, but I'm probably up there, right? You can kind of fake, like, movement meta people. I'd say fake, but you really will. Like, so you can kind of try and give yourself a bit of lag, I guess, or try and make it seem like, so you really had a hit, and ooh. If you are laggy, or you do have a connection where you kind of miss some packets, or they just disappear into the void, doing that makes you so much harder to kill, it's ridiculous. So just bear that in mind, that this game really is kind of like, 33% like movement meta, 33% aim, 33% positioning, and we'll say the 1% packet loss. Memes. I'll just bear these things in mind. What next? So I guess I'll show you the next big thing, which is something I like to do, especially to get kills, which is trying to have control of the environment you're playing in. Now, you cannot directly control the 40 or so people each side of a base, but you can kind of like control the situation, like do a bit of damage control if you feel like you're being flanked a lot. So what I like to do is I know that I can't farm an entire base or even an entire point. Me versus all of these guys isn't going to end well. So what I like to do is I like to take a section of the kind of, I want to say a map, but I want to take a section of the base. And I'll sit in this section of the base or whatever section I've chosen. I have a window. I'm drinking like really fizzy Coke. There we go. Oh, pardon me. This is so rude. And I will try and control that area to the best of my abilities. And by controlling it, I can force people into engagements in which I am favoured, sorry. And then I win. So you'll notice that, especially when people like Dizzy, they don't farm an entire base. They farm like this small kind of like area of a base. So personally, oh, he's one. I'm dead. There's so many. There's like 3 people shooting me. Shit, I got caught out there. Who actually killed me? Okay. Polo Blue Motion. What a fucking... That is an amazing name. So, it's very hard to do it. It's like a lot harder to do it in bases you're attacking. As you can see here, this sun is going to get blown up and we're pretty fucked. But by it being able to kind of pick your own engagements, life becomes so much more easy. You know? You just succeed more. Which is why defending's such a big thing, because for me, I don't necessarily pick only defenses. If I see a good, like, I'm attacking here now, but I just have the most control over the environment at a defensive situation. You know, I can respawn, I know where the spawns are, etc, etc. I mean, I know where they are in an attacking situation, but regardless. Chances are. Oh, that guy's killing me and he's not even shooting. I'm dead. There's a shotgunner. Yeah, it's gonna shock me down. So, like I said there, I couldn't control that engagement because of this base. Like, I'm being attacked into. There's a lot more pop than there is me. There's loads of people around me. Friendlies aren't... Not that friendlies aren't helping. The friendlies can't really help in them situations. I'm just gonna die. So, that's why I avoid attacking. It's not because I don't enjoy attacking. I do like taking bases. But it helps to have people with you, people like an outfit mates, like Vogu, like when I played with them. Because by yourself, you're going to get fucked. Because people need to cover each other. People need to hold points. So that's why you often see like people like me, like farmers, defending a lot. Not because it's easy to farm at defenses, because trust me, it's a lot easier to farm at some bases, definitely attacking them. But because they don't have the people with them to control the situations and back up and all them kind of things. So what I'm saying is, even if you're a very good player by yourself, you can really... I'm not saying you can't change the tide of a battle, because you definitely can. But you can just go head on with everyone. You're going to have to take people into 1v1 situations. And doing that in a base where you're attacking, you don't have much kind of, I guess... hold on the flow of battle, you are going to suffer. So you see there, people were holding doors, people were all hid away. Shotgunners come in, about 4 guys push for one door. I'm fucked. They're fucked. Everybody's fucked. The NCT backers, basically that. Having a shotgun in them situations doesn't help either, because I'm pinned in that building. The one place I don't want to be, if there's a shotgun, I don't want to be in that range. I want it to be out. I'd like to be outside, where he has to kind of close a gap. I'm stuck in that building. There's several people with a shotgun. I think there was more than one random tree. So yeah, not good. Not good. I would recommend as well, not killing fights, but if you really want to practice these things in the game, you might get a bit frustrated if you head to like the main pop continent, do these in the biggest of fights. I would definitely recommend going to Hossin, or because usually if Hossin's open, it's the lowest pop continent, or going somewhere where you're not overpopped by any means, but like the fights aren't going to be huge. You're going to be able to get used to controlling like choke points and stuff like that against, say, like, you know, 5 people, like small scrims than like big battles. Because what you've basically got to do is you've got to, in these Hossin fights, like do what you're doing there, but then scale it up for the bigger fights. It's hard to explain, but I think you're getting what I think you had, yeah. If you do become like good at infantry, Hossin is probably like the best continent, because Hossin does a really good job of separating, I want to say disciplines, but it does. Hossin does a good job of kind of separating infantry players from vehicle farmers from all them. I'll get rid of his ESP. So, because with the canopy, you tend not to get vehicle farmed as much by ESFs, and you also with trees, it's kind of hard for people to, you know, like just deploy a prowler or whatever, like 100 meters away from the base, just shell the spawn room. Personally, I never, like Robot, I agree, I never really get any fights on Hossin, but I still like going there every now and then and trying to attack somewhere where there's not a lot of pop, I can control them, and often you can create fights on Hossin. As long as there's maybe like 3 of you, it's not too bad. You can always, like what I'm about to do now, attack a tech plant. So, I'm going to attack a tech plant. Now, I'm probably going to have to fly there. Yeah, so yeah, not getting found by a set. It's always fun because, like I said, no matter how good you are in Planetside, okay, there's always, like, you can always die like that to an ESF that's ground pounding. You can die like that to a battle rank 1 bolter who's just got the world's like luckiest headshot, but whatever, it seems to happen all the time for him. You can die like that to a light assault with a shotgun. You can die like that to some weird, dodgy, random low BR character who just had godlike aim on you and only you. So bear that in mind. Like, you will still, I still die to that. I still get very frustrated at that, which is why I'm enjoying streaming more, because I don't get as frustrated, because it looks a bit weird when I'm getting frustrated. I think we all agree. And it's also nice to be able to talk to people. And like, when I die to bullshit, they go, lol, that was bullshit. And I'm like, thank God someone agrees, even if it's just for the stream. So let's go to the tech plant. Just a keynote. Tech plants are probably my favourite bases to do anything. Attack, defend. I love them. As infantry, of course. But they're one of the few like staple bases in the game where I'm like, you know what? Shit, why am I light assault? I don't have anything. Didn't think this through, did I? Well, let's get on the point and get a back cap started. And Biolabs as well. There's not many people here, Biolabs, but tech plants as a major tech facility, they're a great way of getting fights started on a continent. If I can get loads of NC, if I can just, like, as me, draw like 12 to 24 NC off other lanes to come to the Biolab, to come and cap it back, all of a sudden I've got an NC force, which could, in theory, if they wanted to, push all the way up here, and I'd get loads of fights along these lanes. So, just gonna, you know, poke the bear a bit. But Eurobob is, he's very good at this, you know. I know these things because I played a lot, not because I'm amazing at, you know, strategy or anything like that. It's just time. Time helps. So it might take 5 minutes or so, but people should come back to defend a tech plant. So we'll see what happens. In the meantime, does anyone have any questions that they don't feel is answered, or if it's like a random question about maybe something else that I haven't spoke about and I've missed out? If anyone's got any questions, please ask them. That's kind of like the point of this session. So we're gonna, even if it's about like maybe some unrelated like food, I don't know. But yeah, just please ask, because you're only gonna learn by asking and by like learning, and then, you know, kind of like getting more knowledge. Hey, hello Spud, and then kind of like practicing. I'm telling you all that, like, people who are in another message, should I bother buying another carbine? The mercenary does everything very well. If you're gonna buy another carbine, I would suggest the GD7F. Yeah, I will try and archive this to YouTube if I remember. I probably will. The beginning intro session I'll get rid of. That door is it's a door in a loft, so it's not a full size door. I'm gonna go stand next to it. I'm 5'8", 170 centimeters. So I'm just gonna stand next to it while no one comes. So there we go. There's the dot. That's me. So the GD7F, yes, because yeah, I did the peeking smart. Oh, people. Peeking something I'm going to be doing throughout this. It's just smart to do. So if you see, I'm corner slicing there, like trying to take Trying to keep my reticle not on the corner, of course, but as close to the corner as possible so that I see someone as soon as possible. As soon... Oh, there's people over there. It's heavy. Okay. Haha. Haha. Thank you. It's a really good door. Yeah. I have literally no sets on this light assault. I forgot. Yeah, so the GD7F, because the mercenary will do mid to long range, even quite a lot of short range very, very well, but it won't do the extreme close quarters as well as the GG7F would. This guy's using a shotgun. You can tell by how he's avoiding these engagements. And also, I've seen the weapon he's using. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw out these engagements, as you would expect. Fairly standard. I saw the weapon he was using, but I could also, what made me tell is he did not turn around to face me there. He ran away. So therefore, I do know he's using a shotgun. Heavies, there we go. He's bar rank 7. Had he been higher and been able to aim, he probably would have killed me. Because I was not ready. But don't be afraid to hip fire. Like, hip fire is something I think a lot of people neglect because it's like less, less accurate. But it's definitely... going to save time ADSing. MSWR attachments, very good question. I would recommend soft point. Forward grip does help your aim. But I have a weird motto. If you think you need a forward grip, use a forward grip. However, if you think this gun's accurate enough, I don't need a forward grip, and you can learn that, because it has a bias recoil pattern, it's not the hardest in the world to learn. If you can learn it, it's going to be a big bonus. There we go. This guy's going to pump me. There, he's dead. Right. It's going to be a huge bonus if you can learn it. So I would recommend laser sight, but because you can do the panic, I guess, ADS, which I do like, but there's no harm in using a forward grip. It's probably going to come down to, do you prefer to ADS? Do you panic? Do you need? He's switched heavy lol. Carbine, I don't know what I'd recommend because of your carbine choices. So I'm kind of duking this guy around, trying to not out peek him, but out peek him. So he's always guessing he's going to have to reload soon. There, he's dead, right? So that wasn't necessarily double peeking, but that's kind of like the way you should peek. You should try and juke people around. I'm doing it especially because I've got no medkits or anything on this character. But mercenary, I would suggest a forward grip because you want to, that accuracy will be so good if you use a forward grip. But for the GG7F, I would recommend it laser sight because you will often be in situations where the laser sight's going to benefit you most. You could be in these extreme close quarter situations. Lol. Let me duck out of there quickly before that other heavy comes back. So what I'm actually doing now as well is I'm using the point as like this. If people walk through here and the point starts flipping, I know where they're going to come from, okay? But if the point isn't flipping, I know that they're not coming that way. Simple. Lol. If you do tend to... honestly, if you find yourself hip firing, then a laser sight is only going to benefit you. The forward grip does... And this is something to remember. The forward grip, what it does is it will slow down the... oh shit, I missed that. It will slow down the rate at which you switch weapons. It's not... I would not say that is a deal breaker at all, that weapon. I need this guy to put down ammo badly. I wonder if I can trick an NC into putting down ammo for me. But if you do... Oh, he put down ammo. Legend. Well... I'm dead. Thought they got me. Right, and we have no spawns. Shit. Okay, we've got a little fight here. A little skirmish. Yeah, so, purely depends. If you never, ever hip fire, then use a forward grip. If you find yourself hip firing and think, you know what, I don't really need the extra ADS accuracy, then, by all means, please use a laser sight. I find it really funny about that shotgun light assault. He's fucking tilted. That is against me. If someone's tilting you, do not decide to go after them and only them. Unless, of course, you pulled a sniper or whatever. But what I'm saying is, do not, like, if you see, like, an outfit, okay, who's kind of, like, you know, like, I don't know, famous or infamous, and you want to kill that player, it's just, like, rub it in the face. So say you see me streaming, okay? Or not see me stream, but you see me in-game. And you think, ooh, this guy streams, maybe, you know, and he's a decent infantry player. God, he's got a massive dick. Anyway, if you see that, right, and you see my name, or you see an outfit tag, you want to kill an outfit member, right? If you try hard for them, the red mist will descend. What I mean by that is you will start making subconscious mistakes that you maybe wouldn't make otherwise in an effort to kill this single player. Yeah, that was Paul. This guy's got... Oh, he isn't Rocky Primary, cool. And you will start to make mistakes, and chances are that player's going to capitalise on them because he's not, you know, he's not fucking up, you are. So, you might trade with him, but if you played normally, and you played passively, and you played with, just basically, if you play with kind of like, with a cool head, and with good composure, chances are you'll kill that guy anyway. So yeah, like, do not let that do not think, oh, I need to kill that player. If that guy's tilting you, just let it go. Don't do it, because you might, like I say, you might kill him, but you definitely would have killed him if you stayed calm and just worked on your position a bit more. Don't let it descend. The number one times I farm people, like, and decent players, I'm not talking shit players, because anyone can farm a shit player. I'm talking those 2-3 KD, you know, people like light assaults and like heavies and stuff, who, you know, they've got the head screwed on, they know how to aim, they know how to position, but maybe they recognise a tag, or I kill them a couple of times, like normally, and they start going for me, they start switching classes to light assault. Well, then that guy switches to light assault, and he's probably taking like pathways which are not beneficial. He's probably taking 1v1s head on because he's just trying to kill me. Or I've tilted him, every time he sees him, he's like, oh, I've got to kill him. And I'll just win every time because basically he's given himself up. But if he just played normally, he might have taken a good engagement one time. So yeah. However, if he'd have just taken a sniper and bolted me in the head, it would have been better. In CQC, is it better to crouch than fire or fire than crouch? I would... That's a weird thing because I don't personally pay attention to what I do. I just try and... I would say make yourself as hard to hit as possible, but start firing. Like, you want to be firing as quick as you can because you want to get the DPS out first. You want to be the first one to damage because then you get the DPS advantage. Planetside and all games are about maths. Who's taking more health quickly, you know? So obviously if you shoot first, so try and shoot first, then make yourself a hard target. Don't make yourself a hard target and then start shooting because if he is hitting you, then you're going to be behind in the DPS department. So just bear these things in mind. That is an air hammer reaver, I believe. Each close to the ground. But yeah, do them both as quick as possible. Yeah, I thought so, yeah. I fucked up there. Yeah, I do believe that is the case. But if you're at like long range, or like at a range where your accuracy is going to matter, crouching isn't going to matter as much. Like, because you're at such a range, they'll just shoot your body in 8% of mass. But if you're in very, very close quarters, like I often end up being, then crouching is a great way to juke your enemies. It really depends on, you know, the situations you're in. And like I say, about when you do these things, you kind of learn what situations to do what in. And it's just by learning and just by practicing that you figure these things out. But you might be right. I will have to test that personally. I've never really done it. I just crouched. How I started crouching in Planetside is I played COD 5 for a week, and then I just kept fucking crouching because that game ruined me. So there's an infiltrator up there. He's going to win these engagements. Yeah, when you're crouching, it's good to kind of like do more than just crouch, like, you know, strafe inside to side. That's what I tend to do. So there you can see there. I didn't pre-fire so much, but I did pre-aim that guy. I just wasn't sure if he was going to go on the roof. This is a very, very shit base to attack in these situations, and I wouldn't recommend it. In reality, what I'm doing now, I should really just go and find another fight, because this isn't really helping. Yeah, ults, yes, definitely. Yeah, this guy's just gonna out. Yeah, he got the shots first. Okay, so tracking him, Halospud, like, that's something I really struggle with in general. When I started gaming at high levels, when I was like 14, actually playing Team Fortress 2, I played Soldier, and I had like 20 centimeters for a 360, and I was twitch like that. You'll see, so when I rocket, I don't track. I go like that. Okay, that's from CF2. I still struggle, even when sniping in Planetside. I do not track very well. I'm fucked. This guy's won. Yep. Aha. Yeah, Team Fortress Classic. Yeah. So tracking aim is a really easy thing to kind of like fuck up. Like I said, I struggle with myself. I found the best thing is just to slow down, because I was so used to Quake, Jesus. Quake Team Fortress. Soldier, yeah. I found the reason that I'm so used to twitching is because I've got this reaction from trying to hit air shots and trying to hit strafing people to twitch to them like the second that I see him. How did I see that guy? Minimap. That's how I saw him. Looking at that minimap. Yeah, so so what I found the best thing to do is just like slow down. Slightly lower sensitivity, but that isn't always the problem. You know, just calm. Don't let your heart rate get too high. Still have a big problem where if I do something really, really clutching a scrim, my heart rate will just increase and I won't be able to aim for like a minute. I need to wait for my adrenaline to go down. Just being calm. Just trying to, you know, just making a solid effort to consciously think about how you're moving the mouse. Don't think I need to be onto that guy's head. Just like slow down. Try not to kind of snap to people, and eventually you'll develop a tracking aim. But even so, twitch aiming isn't too bad. It's just that if you do want that lovely tracking aim. Oh, the cloaker. Maybe it doesn't show too well on stream, but definitely at 1080p. If someone shoots behind someone, if there's like a particle effect behind it, in that case I was moving my screen a lot like that. I know 144 Hz monitors, that doesn't add much blur at all, and you see all the frames rendered, of course. And I could see this distortion. Hello. So that was instant there, crouching into headshots. Luckily I won. But that was just me a case of being able to, you know, spot it. And I have pretty good eyesight. Hearing, not too much, but eyesight definitely, and it's about being able to identify that. I also did hear an infiltrator as well, and it sounded like in that direction. So hello, I'm dead. Yeah, taking a reload at a bad time. The guy's just gonna win. Can't shoot back. Yeah, I do have. You can download my config. The one I'm using now with sensitivities and everything. Down below. Go download it. If you just click on the picture of the potato, then you'll get a link to it. I don't think it works like that. So I'm probably going to head off to Jaeger's soon, and I'll be streaming it as well. Oh, these fights are raids. I'm just going to get farmed. Like, a pro tip for farming, right? The reason you don't see good players in some fights, or you don't farm like really good players. Oh, I killed Dizzy Knight, lol. Is because really, really solid good players don't put them in places. Don't go to fights where they're going to be farmed. Yeah, I thought Cathal might come in there. Hey, Dever. Yeah. I was reloading. You got me, fam. So, just like about those things. Like, you won't... If you kill me, that's great. But you're not going to farm me because if I've already moved around and I've already changed my allocations before you can farm me. Like any good player, that's the case. You can kill a lot of good players, but you won't farm them because they will change positions. They will probably go to a different fight because right there, in that fight, I'm going to get farmed there because we're attacking a notoriously hard to attack base with shit Sunderers, looking at pointing around there, with no real staying power. So I'm just all that's going to happen is some players with just as good aim, just as, better aim, in fact, everything like that. They're just going to, like, basically fuck me. And that's how you get yourself farmed. Also, so you see this building here? This is just like the one in the biolab. All we do is go up, spam, 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 spam. Okay. And we go up. Oh, I'm missing it. Jesus Christ, that's quite uncharacteristic. Wait for the physics engine to come back, and then we go up. Oh, look, we're on the roof of this building. So this building, if you can identify these buildings, that's basically half your wall jumping expertise developed. We're gonna. Oh, there's a gal drop on top of me. Oh, it's a lib. Actually, I'm alright for now. So we're gonna flank. Now, I wonder if these guys have seen me, because this is gonna be really hard. Yeah, they have. So it's orbs. Now, although it's orbs and they're not known for their high infantry skill, it's going to be annoying because they know exactly where I am. Oh, I took way too much damage there, my bad. I should really stop talking. There's just more of them. They're covering angles. They're reviving each other, as you can see on the map there. That was a medic reviving the guy I just killed. Now I'm going to take advantage. I can see which way they're all facing. Oh, look, they're all dead. And that was the friendly, and then boom, boom. So we're flanking, do not overextend. Yeah. There is still, although my FPS looks amazing, there is still the streaming input lag. Streaming, even when really high FPS is, and you're not losing much, you will actually find that you get some like weird input lags, and that's just part of, how streaming is. Especially CPU encoding on Planetside. But I use GPU, so it's very, very manageable. But you do struggle, like, everything moves a little, not necessarily lower frame rate, but, my god, things tend to move a little slower. I really need a piss as well. I'll be right back. There we go. Piss done. Righty-ho. So I can't go where I want to go. Typical. If you find getting up buildings really hard, I suggest mechanical. If you don't have a mechanical keyboard, it'll definitely help you mashing the spacebar fast enough. And I would recommend checking your FPS, because some of them actually do need quite a high FPS to do well, or to perform at all. Some jumps only need 80, some need up to 120, maybe more. So if you find, what might happen is, I know sometimes, if I'm streaming at least, I might be doing a jump fine, and then all of a sudden my FPS drops, like in the middle of jumping, especially on that one I just showed you there in the biolabs, because it tends to be quite hectic. And what will end up happening is I just basically fuck up. No. And yeah, so I'll just drop off the side because my FPS goes from like 120 for like less than a second to like 90 or something, or like 70. Must have, okay. They have the potential to client side me, but I don't know if any of them can. Well, these guys are old players, so they definitely know their way around the game. So this is what I'm doing. I'm just trying to profile the people I'm against, you know? I know the outfits, I know people well enough. This is all about developing that game knowledge I was talking about earlier. Because I know the people, I know how they're going to play it, or I know the kind of play styles they're going to use. They're going to be in teams. They're going to double stack, because they've been playing this game long enough in together that they're going to double stack. I'm going to have to wait for my shields to regen. This is the kind of downside to Adrenal Wave, is that if you need to regen your shields, you're fucked like that. You've just got to wait. I've killed a friendly. Whoops, yeah. See, unfortunately there we had to wait for shields to regen, so we didn't do as much damage as possible. Yeah. In Planetside, you need to always be constantly... I mean, I say this a lot, but like you always need to move fights. You need to keep going to where the battles are going because you want to have fun. And one of the best ways to have fun is to keep responding. Good question. I'd say I probably do best on the NC, considering I don't play them as much. Because I've once I get in rhythm with like the anchor, I do so well with the anchor, like the bursting, everything about that. And in comp, I generally prefer the anchor because it feels to have a little bit more weight in it at longer ranges, so I can normally outrange other factions in like headshot duels. The VS and the TR, I'd say I prefer the TR actually. But I see them as very similar. There's no real difference because, like, on the VS, I'm using the Orion. And I guess, actually, no, I prefer the TR because I use the MSWR in a lot of scrims. And that has soft point and a biased recoil pattern I find much easier to be accurate with at longer ranges. So I'd actually put the VS as my, like, least... Not least favourite, but I'd probably put them as my least strong faction. In like a 12v12 or 24 versus 24 scrim. Yeah, I would actually. Although I do play it a lot, I wouldn't put them as the best for a scrim. But live, well, it probably goes... who has the best fights? I don't really think of it like that. The TR is always nice to go on because they always have a lot of fights. But at the same time, I like playing on my VS character because that's like my character. I don't know how to put it, but my other characters, even though my main are Woodman from Woodman TR, that doesn't really feel like my character anymore because I've changed so much since I made it. But my Miller VS character, I put a lot of work into, and I feel like that's like my character. So I guess on live VS and then NC and TR, I don't really like my TR one anymore because it kind of hurts me to play on it because it reminds me of Woodman. You know, one of them things. Ooh. Yeah. Shouldn't have taken that engagement. I'm getting shot from the side, but if I stood out there, I'd probably get killed by a... Yeah, it is a straight up grid, but for some people, people who really don't like them biased recoil patterns, they might find the MSWR unbearable to use, but laser sight, soft point, red dot on an MSWR is perfect. Like, better than the Orion, but personally I find the anchor just a little bit better than them all. And then there's also the Gorsaw, which is beautiful if you can aim. If you can aim. A lot of people can't. Sniper rifles, again, they're all carbon copies of each other, actually. It's literally the sounds and the aesthetics, if you prefer them. They are all the same. Obviously, aside from like the long shot and the parallax and all that, but not parallax. The oh, what's it called? The weird ones. Phase shift, railjack. That's it. And yeah, any of the other weird ones. But aside from that, all snipers are carbon copies. I'd say I probably do best with the TR ones because I like the sound of those the most. And right. Down lots of friendlies now. Yeah, Sasa. Again, it's all personal preference. Some people like this. The sound of the Sasa is scary. Like, I've always found that about NC, like, battle rifles and everything about them. Like, they just have this really suppressive sound, which sounds stupid to say on Planetside, but I do not like being shot by them. Kind of that, like, placebo. They do more damage because they sound scary. So, yeah, we're... Unfortunately, the fights have dried up a little bit now, so we're not going to do too well. I'm overextending a bit much, but I'm just trying to make things entertaining for the stream. Guy was using a shotgun because he wasn't shooting back, or I assume that's why he wasn't shooting back. Could have just been shit. Oh, great, people are dying left, right. Yeah, so that's what I mean. Getting shot by an NC battle rifle is just scary. It's that, like, real high-pitched sound. Rechamber. Yeah, I mean, it's these little things, I think, why people prefer each rifle. Sometimes just being used to the sound is, like, you know, is enough. I can do fine with the Ghost, I don't like the sound of VS sniper rifles. So right now I'm being really cautious because this is a great place for snipers to always be around the Sunday and the rocks around it. There's a great place for vehicles just to come in. There's not much cover at all. I don't have a lot of ammo, so I don't really know what I'm going to be doing over here. I'm wasting a lot of that precious ammo actually shooting people with long ranges. Yeah, the links doesn't sound great, does it? That's my... I think for a long time that was like playing on Woodman. Oh, did I kill it? Yeah, I did. On Woodman, I remember that people... The biggest thing I remember people complaining about was the TI was like, yeah, it's pretty much you don't like the sound of the weapons in it. Like... Sound... Placebo's a huge effect, right? So, any more questions we've got? Any more questions? Do we, Is there any specific knowledge? Or do you want me to just ramble on while I'm playing? Peeking, keep going with the peeking. Okay. So just watch. What I'm saying is, it's really hard to explain without doing it in action. And while I'm doing it in action, it's hard to explain because I'm trying to kill and not die. How do you quit this game? Drugs. Drugs, that's the only way. Lobotomy maybe as well. And when I'm peeking like I'm hugging corners. I'm hugging it, my reticle. I'm not looking at it, but I'm making sure that if an enemy's coming, I'm going to see him like as soon as possible. I'm dead. Yep. 2v1. Yeah. So you can see I'm trying to like take engagements where the enemies can't. Because the thing is, right, I find myself like doing this a lot. I have a very good internet connection. My server length is weird because I respawn. There we go. I can get client-sided by literally like anyone playing the fucking game unless they live next to the server. So I need to take engagements in a way where I'm going to minimize my damage and minimize the damage done to me and maximize the damage I do to enemies. And the best way to do that is to be efficient at peeking. So you can see here I'm just kind of like trying not to show anything but what I need to show. Take a reload quickly. Now the thing is I could get 2v1'd here, but I'm trying to minimize my exposure as well. While hugging corners, like I said, hugging those corners with my reticle. So that I don't get fucked. That's basically it. So see, just chunks of damage will come through. I'm dead. Yeah. So just watch as I take on. If I know someone's like in a room, I don't run into the room. I don't aim at the center. I aim like at the door where they are. I'm not aiming like, I'm not aiming in the center of the door. Oh. Okay. Guy on the roof. No, he's not on the roof. He's there. Shit. It's even more annoying to deal with. I'm playing quite passively now. This is how I'd recommend playing with something like Resist ASC, not with the shield combat I'm using right now. Oh, screen shake will kill me. So all them people there, they're ready to line my head up. I go with a little classic. Oh shit. So everyone's pretty concerned in shooting in one direction. They do have people on the stairs, so flanking like this is going to be challenging. They've also got people looking at the back door even. And they're going to in fact push out onto me and I'm going to get fucked. Oh, close. But you could see there how I did this cross I did at Elliot. I'm using something called the recursion overlay. A lot of people use it for stats. It makes calls out as well for kill streaks, but I have them turned off because of the stream and the nature of this stream. When this video ends, there's a bit where I show you how to enable a crosshair in recursion. You can download this green crosshair overlay at the bottom of the video, like of the channel description. There'll be like a picture of this crosshair. Just click on it. It will take you to an imgur gallery with this picture that you can then use. So you're welcome, I guess. So here we go. Peeking close, peeking close, peeking close. No, we're extending because I need to reload. I'm getting impeded. Not good. Is the double peeking coming in? See? Need to reload there. So you can see when I'm peeking, I'm like kind of peeking in, peeking out. Nah, he's not gonna. He's gonna take it, madman. There we go, he's dead. Oh, so I should have figured. So you can see them peaks where I'm just kind of minimizing exposure to enemy fire, but maximizing my kind of damage I'm doing out. So in a situation where it works like that, you can wipe an entire team and not die. But in a situation where it doesn't work, it's very frustrating. And you've just got to keep smashing your head against that brick wall. You've just got to keep doing it. Like I say, if you don't mind that, and you're willing to try, it's fantastic. But if it gets you depressed, like it gets me, just smashing your head against that brick wall can be annoying. I'm actually going to change the light levels of my camera just a little bit because it feels really, really dark. I did do some twitching. Give me a sec. There we go. That's increased the brightness slightly. It might be a little washed out, but I think it's alright. There we go. Yeah, that looks better. Right. Some of that. There we go. So using the minimap there, found him, killed him, want a problem, done. There's the minimap again. You get sniped from that window. Yep. So there, that's another example of getting client-sided. For even though I was turning around, he was still hitting constant headshots because for him, my head was still appearing at the box until I died. Just heads up. And the reason I know that is because he was in 300S, and knowing the geographical location and also the internet speeds and the internet connection to the server and the routing, I can pretty much guarantee that's exactly what just happened. and also about the consistency of headshots that landed on me from a player who shouldn't be too consistent. No, I play with the worst graphics. If you want my... oh, shit, nigga. If you want my config, which contains my graphics settings, everything like that.
Move. I'm on the point.
Sorry, fam. But...
No! Why are you guys always pushing at the last time? Why? Can't you guys just fucking push it early? Every time the same thing. Okay. Bro.
Chill.
So...
No, I can't chill, bro. Keep throwing,
Cabo guy's great, isn't he? Okay, he's still tinkling me. He's still tinkling me, fuck it. Oh, look at this shit.
We cannot lose this base.
Oh, look at this. And Ren shit. Oh, I'm dead. Killed by a friendly. These people are so good. I know, right? Friendlies are more annoying than enemies. Because enemies... Oh, shit, I tabbed out. Windows key, misclick. Enemies, you know what they're going to do. Friendlies, you don't. They could just shoot you in the back, like Coppers did right there. Just shoot you in the back. But enemies, nah. I know an enemy's going to kill me on sight. Or, you know, attempt to kill me on sight. Friendly. Oh, he might just accidentally shoot this rocket. Go straight into my back. Just be aware of that. Enemies are, most part, on live, predicting enemies, fucking easy. Even in Server Smash. Easy peasy. Friendlies, you just don't fucking know what's going through their minds. Like I said, that's why you want to be able to control engagements. So you know what they're doing. So by controlling it, you've got to minimize their ability to spot by killing spotters and everything like that. You have to have your own ability to spot by being able to see where enemies are coming from, which I'm trying to demonstrate right now. Then you also need to get in a position where you're going to take advantage fights. Boom. And you win. That's it. That's all you got to do. And you just got to practice that. Oh, this is a bit boring, but this is what happens. Half of Planetside is looking for fights if you're not getting zerged. Oh, I'm fucked. I'm not fucked. Let's just take this point back. There might be someone at it. Listen for any audio cues. If I can... pardon me. Hear someone shield regenerating. I can hear anyone like dropping ammo or anything like that. If I can hear footsteps even. Cloaks. Can't hear any of that. Assume it's clear. Look at the hex. Yeah, pretty much clear. My Blue Yeti. No, I don't have any processing on my Blue Yeti. It's raw. Yeah, it's raw. And I showed it earlier. My Blue Yeti lives beneath me. Hello. Nice crotch shot there. And no, there's no processing. So, is that bad that there's no processing? I feel like there should be processing. There should be. Should. So yeah, like I said, there is a public pickup tonight, and I would highly recommend if you've been watching the stream and when you want to try things out in like a more competitive environment than live. Fuck, it's trees. I do not have a tiny desk. My desk is fucking huge. No, I don't have any noise gates. That's why my microphone's in front of me. But what it is like a directional microphone. So looking at it right now, it has 2 microphones at each side and a middle and one in the middle. I have put it in a mode where it switches off the ones at the side. Just the one in front of me. I don't use any noise gates because a lot of the time I mumble and I actually get cut off. So no noise gates, no push to talks unless I'm doing like casting or anything like that. Pushing this is going to be hard. They're basically just going to win every time. They're stacked up. I'm spotted, so they know exactly where I am. Let's have motion spotters when that fades. They're stacking up in a way which is going to make it really hard for me to kill them. Yeah, you see there's about 3 people in that building shooting. There's people, in fact, all over. They've got this locked down. Now I need my own squad of peeps, because there's about 15 guys here, maybe 20. And all of them know exactly where I am, know where I'm playing from. Oh shit. So I've got to try something out. This is the whole knowing when to be aggressive. I'm living off that minimap right now, because the minimap doesn't lie. It just, you know. You can always assume that there's more people than actually on the minimap as well. So if there's a shit ton on the minimap stacking a point, you know that there is going to be like even more of a shit ton stacking that point. Now people are shooting me with a mosquito. I'm going to read a play out. Someone's chasing me down as well. Why do you ask, my hand? Does it pick up loads of different things? Oh, haha, I read a play. Or is it pretty... Is it decent? I don't know. Let's attack and hold a tech lab. Like, map knowledge is another thing, or I should say base knowledge in this game. Just like you'd remember, like, know spots on a map in, like, Battlefield, or anything like that, you know spots in a base. In Planetside, I think we all know this. That's friendly kit. So... out fucking played, boy. So now I'm just trying to take 1v1s. I'm trying to use grenades as well. It's not so much to kill enemies, but I'm trying to use it as an area denial. So if I can put a grenade in a doorway while I'm reloading, most people are not going to push that doorway. And if they are, they're going to get naded. So I've always struggled to use nades in every game. I just don't like using them. Even though you can get plenty of kills with them. I would just recommend, if you're like me, just using them to deny people an area. I want to reload, I need to buy myself some time. Grenade is a perfect way of making sure someone won't come and fuck me up. I'm going to get fucked by lightning. Yeah, there we go. So no matter how good you are, you're still going to get fucked by vehicles. Juicy. Oh boy. they're coming down the pipes. And down that pipe. Okay. So I was gonna do some dig stuff, but I don't know, I never got around to it. And besides, because of the I'd rather go and play Thingy later. Public pickup. Again, hopefully you've seen this, how I'm peeking. Because I cannot take those guys on in like a million versus one. Oh, there we go. But unfortunately, due to client siding, even if I don't fully commit, I can still die very, very quickly even when I'm back around the other side of the corner. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. What outfit am I in? Oh, platoon. Yes, that's completely zagged. Rip. Let's go to Hossin. We're going to probably attack a tech plant at Hossin, which will be great. Public pickup should start relatively soon. So when that happens, I'll stop this broadcast and archive it to YouTube. But then, of course, I will be demonstrating things from this broadcast in public pickup. So, so I've said it before, but any questions from anyone who maybe missed some stuff earlier or still isn't sure on some things? I know the peeking thing, it is really hard for me to kind of get across because it's something I do all the time and don't really think about doing, and at the same time, it's something that's hard to talk about while you're doing it because you're usually doing it to survive, and you got to concentrate in them situations. Like I am not playing. What for me, I'm not playing very well on this stream because I'm talking and explaining things as I go along, and that actually takes like a bit of cognitive effort, you know, just to move your mouth and think about what you're about to say next, which takes away from how good you are at games. So, the thing as well, if you really want to be good, you won't listen to music. You'll just literally play a game and concentrate and hell, you know. Oh. Area denial. Puts up a friendly. It's a risk with area denial. One looking. Another risk. So this is the thing. When you're attacking, you'll often find the same type of people. So right now, that's we're popping real quick because like people like me, people farmers are going, "Ooh, it's a base to defend. Cool." Because it's a lot easier to defend a base than it is to pull something to air. Yes, this is another thing as well. So this is just like a vehicle farmer who thinks he's good at the game, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna kill all these people, make myself feel good because I'm depressed. Fuck off, vehicle farmers, no one likes you. So, if no one's got any questions, what I might do now is I might end the stream, have like a little 5-minute break because my voice is starting to hurt. Get this. Jump in the windows. I don't know why. So jumping comes down to like. Do you mean like jumping wall jumping, and do you also mean like, or do you mean like literally just run into a window and jumping through it? Like, yeah, it's like that. I guess something like that. Because to me, that's a lot about timing and just knowing when you're gonna climax and peak at your jump, giggity climax. So that's really what you're gonna have to like. It's something you'll get good at through practicing, just like a lot of things actually. But yeah. So you just need to know when you climax in the window. I can't do it. Okay. Yeah, you just need to like, I guess know stuff like that. Know when to jump again. No, like no timings of very like little specific things like that. And once it's muscle memory, it's very, very easy. But until it's muscle memory, it's going to be a lot of missed windows. Put it like that. So, okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm going to take these stairs down. It's not the ones onto the point, because it will just let me see if anyone's directly on the point. I'm going to chuck a grenade there. Okay, so it's not that great. You either get a hit marker and know someone's on the point, or he starts looking that way and he doesn't think about that. Haha. So, I also avoid claymores. Yeah, your grenades are like, use them like fucking distraction rocks like you would in a fucking stealth game. They're grenades, their only purpose is not killing. Oh, Saber like, oh, Saber kind of thing saved me there. Whew, close. Usually when the servers are starting to reach prime time and their performance starts to go to shit, this is usually a sign that hit detection's about to fail on me. You can do stuff like that where you just like walk over and the mine detonates after you've walked over it so you don't take the full damage. I also did have my adrenaline shield on, which probably saved me, and without it, chances are I would have died. I think he had a shotgun, I'm not too sure. So you can use little gravelists like that to get temporary fall damage invulnerability. Just a heads up. If you want to get somewhere quick but don't want to take fall damage. Okay. Highly, highly recommend doing something like that.
We've successfully defended the facility.
This guy's a shotgun. He does. Look at him. Just going to try and close that engagement distance. Joke's on him. I know what he's playing at. Yep, that's a Baron. He's using a Baron. So, like I said, just knowing if he's not firing back, he's trying to get in a better position. So you just got to pick up on these little bits of information. Oh, Wick Step Southern. Gib. Oh, wait. Do we have... Yeah, we have connection. Gib. What I might do very, very quickly before I set next stream is actually just go over ergonomics again, because I have a feeling those people, some of you will have been watching from the beginning. So we'll have this one life. Shit. I was looking at this chat. There we go. I thought someone sent me a tell, but it was just a message. Like a regular pop-up message. So there are spotters all over. Chances are that is a bolter who's fired them. So I'm not, especially with Adreno Wave. Yeah, he's behind me. I can't stay still for too long. That might actually be. That might be a cyclone infill actually. I'm getting spotted from a lot of places. If you can just listen out for people to like shout about eyes open enemy heavy or some shit, you know. So I'm spotting you. Some of these guys are just too accurate for my liking. Aha. Obviously, I do not recommend the Spectre, but I have no set to spend on other weapons, so for now, I must deal with this. Spectre isn't that bad, to be fair. Since the weird accuracy changes they gave it. Right. Looks clear enough now. Let's grab a heavy. And this is when the vehicles come. Dank. There isn't much cover between me and where I want to be. But I'm making it work anyway for now. Yep. Oh, haha. Thank you. So now the vehicles have come out to play. Do I actually have a... No, I don't have any more weapons though.
Can't let this facility fall to the enemy.
You can see with my sniping as well, I do not track, I do twitch. So twitch aiming when sniping, it can look pro, but I would highly recommend track aim just because otherwise, when you miss with twitch aim, you look like the world's fucking biggest dullard. It's ridiculous.
Facility is lost. For the moment.
Okay, yep. I told you, sniping's easy, boys. Oh. Yeah, so sniping, it's not hard. Ooh. I'm gonna have one more life just because they're coming to Genesis, and Genesis can be pretty dank. Do not recommend that sniper, by the way. I do not recommend that, even though I did well with it. It's literally terrible. You should, in them situations, the Vandal would have even been pretty good. Thank you. Friendly. Oh, I like B point at this base. These buildings are very, very easy to control. Unless light assaults come out, and even then it's not the world's hardest thing. So by yourself, you can lock down these buildings very well, just by being in that balcony position there. It's quite hard for people to deal with you. They can't just, you know, you're always going to have better positioning than them. That was again the case there of, problem is I do crouch too much, so if you saw there, that heavy actually got a headshot on me when I crouched. So you'll find that happens a lot. But see how there I'm in a great position with the help of a friendly just to frag two guys. My positioning is better. That's what you want to do. It's always about having positioning. Anyone can hit random headshots, so you want to make sure that you'll be winning even if your aim is worse. It's hard to do in a scrim, but doing it on live is fairly standard as long as you know where to go. Should react is that a little quicker because I did actually note that the point was flipping, but I was, oh, hello. Yeah, GG 7F, because if someone's hitting like a volley of shots like that, the DPS is insane. And considering I'd already taken some damage, it was kind of inevitable that I would just get fucked straight away if someone was to do that. To the point where I think some of them guns, it's not that I think they kill too quick. It's just that in a game with so many connection issues, a bit like shotguns, it's hard to say that the game works at those levels of like time to kill, because like you can die in a lot of fucked up ways. Again, just going for a little burst there, keeping it nice, tight and controlled. This spot isn't one I actually like to take too more because a lot of people now bolt to counter this. So these railing spots here, I'm doing it now because there isn't a bolter, but I suspect that there will be soon. Yeah, I'm dead. Can't wait for that rocket primary patch to come in. If anyone's not aware, rockets are very soon to be no longer one shot on an infantry, even without. Oh, there's a max. They're also going to take a lot more to kill a max. Speaking of a max, so it's not going to be all swings and roundabouts. There is. I don't think that's true. Oh, sorry, friendly. Right, he's dead. Good. To reload. Just got to hit headshots after headshots after headshots. Killing people with headshots is so much quicker. Do it. If you can't headshot, you need to learn. You will kill people quickly. You will make me rage. What's not to love? I'm biting off more than I can chew. How fun. Headshot after headshot after headshot like a fucking... He's headshot machine if you've ever seen Scream. Play Counter-Strike. Just making sure my aim is at head level and I'm keeping it there. You want to burst so your bloom doesn't... I'm not dead, thank God. You want to keep bursting. You want to do all those things right. You can't afford to make mistakes. I can because... But if you're learning, mistakes are not your friend. Can't afford to make them. Very good of him there to use the point as cover. That's amazing. Against most people, chances are you're gonna like find them like not hitting very good heads. But unfortunately for him, I've been in that situation myself. I don't stop, and you just got a headshot after headshot. Just got to kill him first, basically, and boom. Keep head shot him, boys. I'm out of ammo. Shit. Conk that room. I couldn't afford. So back out, and now I'm dead. Thank God. Right. So that was like, that end fight there, that was kind of like everything going well, and you should copy that. You should try and get them headshots. Look at that. Look at that scoreboard. Ho, ho. I'm going to end it now. In, I believe, about 30 minutes. Public pickup should start. I'm going to go along to that. You guys should come and join me. Head over to the Planetside Battles TeamSpeak for in about half an hour. Just head there a little earlier, maybe 15 minutes. And then we're going to get streaming. I'll stream that as well. But this, of course, is separate because it's... yeah, anyway. Thank you for watching. Hopefully everyone's learned something. If you still have any questions, you can maybe clip parts of the video and then like link on Reddit saying, like, can you explain this a bit more? At the same time, you can just quickly ask them now. But no problem. I'll be streaming later. I'm trying to stream as like often as possible. I don't have an exact schedule. That's a tower fight. I'm just going to quickly go to a tower fight. This is, I know I should have ended it by now. Oops. Camera's a little dark as well, so I'm going to try and get that fixed for the stream. Let's quickly just see if anyone's at the tower, please. Please. No, they're not. Okay, well, thank you very much for watching, guys. Yes, I'll be on Jaegers. I'll be on the Planetside Battles TeamSpeak. Thank you. Also, give us a follow. Yeah, Jaegers is where the... Yeah, so Jaegers is a decommissioned server, a decommissioned American server, which then got turned to kind of like a server where competitive stuff happens. You need a special account to access it, but they are given out at PSP. They have a special account which can log on to Jaegers. You have like a pre-made character with like a million cert points. Do not delete that character whatever you do, because those can easily be remade due to the amount of certs they have. But yes, thank you for watching. That will be explained later if you do decide to join us at the Planetside Battles TeamSpeak. Thank you.